Hello, my name is Stephen Alff and welcome back to AlffBooks, and today we are looking at my top 10 favourite authors of the year of 2014. Now, I know I said I was going to do a top 10 favourite books of 2014, but firstly that's really hard to do, especially when you read a lot of books, impossibly hard. And I decided that, well, you know, there's a lot of authors that I really want to bring up in this list, and it's just, well, I read so many books by the same authors that I just thought, this is not going to work out. Let's see who's on the list. Another one last thing is that I will not be ranking two of the authors. Two of the authors, because they don't really fit in, well, at least the books I read by these authors don't really fit into the same kind of categories as the other books I read. So I'll mention them at the end, but that doesn't mean that they have 9th and 10th place. They're up there in the top 10. I haven't really put them in the rankings. But hey, I was able to make a list of 8 plus 2. The first author on the list will probably not surprise any of you because, well, I mentioned this author quite a bit, and for anyone who followed the wrap-up series, you will definitely already know who this author is, because pretty much every second month, if not every month, I brought up the author. So, the author is Garth Nix. I read 14 books by him, and absolutely fantastic. I just love his books. I finished off the Keys to the Kingdom series, I finished off the Seventh Tower series, I also read A Confusion of Princes, which is a standalone. I also read Clariel, which is the prequel to the Old Kingdom series, and it's just so many great books, and I can't get enough of those books. They're brilliant. So that's number 1. Let's see who's in second place. This would probably not surprise any of you either. Patrick Rothfuss. His series, The Kingkiller Chronicle, is amazing. I absolutely love it. I'm still waiting for the 3rd book, but yeah, the 2 first books are absolutely fantastic. The writing style, the whole world building, character development, it is amazing. So in 3rd place we have H.G. Wells. So what did I read by H.G. Wells? I read The Time Machine, The Invisible Man, and Stolen Body. And all 3 of these were very interesting in the order I mentioned them, I believe. I started with The Time Machine, so yes, that's the order I really like those books in. They're really good. There's a very interesting way of bringing across the story, which I really like. The way the narrator is being told the story by someone else who was actually a witness of the events, so it's really well done. And yeah, so 3rd place. Let's move on to 4th place. In this position we have Ernest Cline. So I only read 1 book by him. I read Ready Player One, but it was really, really good. It was very different to what I'm usually used to reading, and I was not disappointed. I was really not disappointed. Easily shot up onto my list of favourite books of the year and of all time, and I can't wait to read more by him. In 5th place we have one of my all-time favourite authors, Pierre Bottero. So technically the books I read were rereads. I reread the series La Quête des Vilaines in the month of July during the booktubeathon, and I just loved it. I just loved rereading it, and I'm really happy I enjoyed it just as much as I did when I first read the series, because I didn't know if that was going to change or not. But nope, still up there, still one of my favourite series ever. And I also read 2 other books that were part of a series that he worked on with another author called Eric Lum, and so that was also technically those kind of like books that he would have partly worked on, even though they were written by the other author. In 6th place we have Caro. So I read 5 books by him. Basically I finished off the Time Rider series, and I really, really enjoyed this series. It's a great series, and it's just, I really enjoyed it. Like the time travel is a very interesting story concept, and how they actually talk about it in the end, and how the series concludes, it's just really well done. I didn't know how they were going to end it, and sure, why not? It's one way of ending it. So yeah, I will now move on to number 7. Pittacus Lore. Now, I read 2 books by him this year, Fall of 5 and Revenge of 7, I believe. Hope I got those titles right, but yeah, they're really good. I really want the next book in that series now. The cliffhanger at the end of The Revenge of 7 is fantastic. It is really well written, and you really do want to continue at that point. You're just like, why? It's a great place to stop if you're trying to put in a cliffhanger into a book, and yeah, he managed to do that perfectly. 8th place we have Michael Scott. So I read one book by Michael Scott in 2014. I'm currently reading the next one, so Red Warlock. And so that's the 5th book in the Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel series, and I'm currently reading the last book in that series, and it's really good. I can't wait to finish it. I just don't really have a lot of time because of exams at the moment. But yeah, so let's move on to the 2 other authors that are on this list. So the 2 authors are Art Spiegelman and Stephen King. Now, I only read one book by Stephen King, but I read a lot of short stories, and because I read so many short stories, I thought that short stories is a different category to books, so I put him in his own category. Absolutely great at writing short stories. I haven't read many books by him at this moment in time yet, and the book I did read by him was actually on writing, a memoir about the craft or something like that. It's brilliant. I really enjoyed reading it. And the other books, so Art Spiegelman, actually I read 2 books by him, and they are the graphic memoirs that he wrote about his father's story, well, his parents' story, and they're brilliant. So yeah, they definitely deserved a place in my favourite books, and he deserved a place as favourite author of 2014. So I will leave you there. I hope you are having a great week. I have exams coming up, so I hope I'll be able to get videos up. I will have them pre-recorded possibly, but yeah, I might be putting up 2 tag videos or something like that just because it might be easier, because they're quicker to film. So yeah, see you next week. Bye.